Hello, everybody. My name is Dr. Sanjeev, and I have some stuff to share about. And these are insights that I have been uh, getting by observing, analyzing, contemplating, and reflecting on a lot of things. Um, so, to give some context, I was in an organization that the vision of the organization was to have more empowerment, to have more consciousness on the planet, right? And it seemed to me like a very beautiful and a very noble endeavor. And I embarked upon that journey of becoming a trainer within that particular organization. And one thing that I observed in that organization was people were extremely happy. This is what I saw at the face of it. Everyone is so happy. Okay. And nobody would talk about issues that are negative, and everybody would want to be positive and express and show happiness because they thought that the world or the society can change with more positivity, so to speak. Okay. So I bought that idea and I thought that, wow, let's just focus on the positives. Let's never talk about things that are dark. Let's never talk about things that are gray. Let's never talk about social issues that seem to be quite unsettling. Okay, let's push it all under the carpet and let's focus on creating consciousness. Because when I was within this organization and when I would ask the founders of the organization, what can we do about climate change? How do we contribute towards ending global hunger? Why is there so much disparity in the world? Why is the caste system still so rampant in India? And why this class-based, gender-based divide and inequality in this country? When I would ask questions like this, and when I would speak about patriarchy and gender norms, or hint towards such things, I was always told that, Sanjeev, you're overthinking. You are an empath, is what they told me. You are an empath. So you pick up on the thoughts, feelings, and emotions of the society around you. And they gave me a label, a very special label. They told me I'm a humanoid. They told me you're not even a human. You're a special humanoid. So you see, you are an alien species who has come from a different planet to make this planet better. And your job is only to create more consciousness and not worry about these human things, these human inventions that these humans have created on this planet. Well, I bought into it. I thought, oh, so let me set aside all these concerns of the world aside and let me indulge in the euphoria of being special. And that got to me, it was a grandiosity that inflated my ego, and it made me feel so special, and everybody validated that. I started losing my old friends, and I started weakening the bonds with my family members, because my family members would tell me, you're no one special. We've seen all your faults and flaws, and we see you trip down and fall head over heels, and don't think too much of yourself. This is what my family would non-verbally indicate. But this organization told me that my family is effed up and mainly interested in limiting me. That's what they said, that the full form of family, family, is fucked up and mainly interested in limiting you. That's what they told me. So I bought that. I thought, okay, so maybe because they kind of told me that, even your family can't get you how special you are, how great you are. And all you have to do is be you and shine your light upon this earth and create enlightenment or illumination or uplift consciousness and such ideas, right? And I really bought into it. And I was riding that wave of feeling special. And everybody validated it to me within the organization. They told me, Sanjeev, you are so special. Sanjeev, you have a gift. And I was getting alienated from my family and my old friends because I was thinking I'm very special. And meanwhile, I was observing the power structure within this organization. The power structure was such that um, there was a pyramidal hierarchy, okay, with these two charismatic leaders on the top, and then they appointed two other people below them as, oh, these are also conscious people, and they can also teach you some things. And then below them were certified facilitators like myself, and then below them were other kinds of facilitators, and below them were the practitioners. So it was a neat pyramidal power structure. Now you might ask, what's wrong with a pyramidal power structure? Every organization has a pyramidal power structure, isn't it? Yes, they do. And strict norms of hierarchy are in place. But if you look at democratic systems of society, there are checks and balances of power. Okay. What differentiates a democratic system from a tyrannical, exploitative, capitalistic system is that the leaders in a democracy are, number one, elected by the people. The leaders are held accountable by either an opposition party, or if it's happening within a corporate, there are a board of directors who might even have the veto power over the leader, so that absolute power cannot absolutely corrupt the leader. When I was starting to observe this pyramidal structure of power system, I started researching about why do we need checks and balances of power. As this was going on, as I was questioning what is power, what are power structures, I started observing places where power structures would show up. I went and attended a workshop, it's called transaction analysis, where they kept the seating arrangement as circular. It was not like one trainer sits here and all the participants sit on the opposite side. Including the trainer, everybody was sitting in a circle. And then I asked them, why this seating arrangement? Because the trainer said, Eric Byrne, the father of transaction analysis, he proposed that every class or every workshop or every session of transaction analysis, when the group gathers, they have to sit in circle to represent what they call in transaction analysis as I'm okay, you're okay life position, which is, if I may be a trainer, but we still can relate with each other in an egalitarian manner. So the value of egalitarianism was there in this power structure. And then I attended one of the facilitation classes of my organization. I don't want to take the name of the organization, because then if I take the name, again, it becomes a debate. People might start getting very defensive about that organization. My point here is not to malign, or it's not to tarnish the name of an organization. My intention here is actually to share a journey of disillusionment, okay? A journey of starting out from a place of feeling euphoric and thinking that I am right and I know it all. From that place to coming to a place where harsh realities of life shook me. Real people with open hearts and vulnerable levels of kindness and honesty inspired me. Blatant social injustices started becoming apparent to my eyes, and a sort of awakening started taking place. But this time it was not an individual awakening, it was kind of like a social awakening. It was kind of understanding what the world requires. And I'm not saying I'm going to preach I know what the world requires, not from that perspective. It just, in my journey, I kind of understood that I have to step out of my echo chamber. Okay, now what is this echo chamber? I realized that when I started alienating myself from my friends and family who saw the real Sanjeev for who he was, just a 27-year-old kid who does not have a great idea of life, who's very good at speaking, but is still on his journey of embodying the values that he is preaching. Okay. And a hypocrite in many ways, wanting to do good to people and wanting to lead a life of sincerity, but also has his own pitfalls of arrogance, has his own pitfalls of laziness, and all of these things, right? So when I alienated myself from this set of people who could really spot my bullshit and embrace another set of people who were validating my uh, gift or my gloriousness or my charm, so to speak, that created an echo chamber all around me. Now, this echo chamber, what does the echo chamber mean? It is like, have you heard of this? The king is naked. Have you heard of that story? It was like there was a king who was walking around naked, and nobody in the kingdom had the uh, guts to tell the king that, hey, king, you're not wearing clothes. And everybody was saying, wow, what beautiful robes you're wearing. Because somebody sold the king an invisible muslin cloth. And the person said the muslin cloth is so refined, so beautiful that it's fit for a king. So the king thought he's wearing, the person who's selling him this invisible muslin cloth, the finest quality of the muslin cloth in the world, acts as if he's draping around the cloth around the king. And then the king walks out in the kingdom holding his head up high. And everybody is afraid to spot the elephant in the room. Here, the naked king in the road. And everyone is like, oh, long live the king, long live the king. And then the soldiers are like, you better not say anything. They're giving that unconscious vibe, and everyone's catching on it. And his admirers, there are like 10 admirers around the king, was saying, wow, what a beautiful robe, Jahapana, what a beautiful robe, your majesty, and everything. Until one little child who doesn't know these rules of lies, just looking and asking his mom, Mom, the king is naked, yells it. And then that hits the king. Oh my God, what am I doing? I am walking around like a fool, and all these other fools are validating my stupidity. That is an echo chamber that got busted by the child. And something like that happened in my case. Okay. So here I was thinking that, oh my God, I am a smooth talker and I'm a great negotiator and I'm a fantastic life coach and I have, got all these special talents. And then when I ask these founders of the organization about these real world issues, they told me that all you have to do is just do 1, 2, 3, move your hands like this and say 1, 2, 3. There will be an energy and intention going into the planet, and whoever has to do the dirty work, they will get the consciousness and they will do the cleaning of the plastic bags and they will remove the pollution and they will do the kindness to the animals. And all you have to do is just sit at home and intend consciousness because you're so powerful. And wow, what an easy job, right? I can just sit inside my air conditioned room and I can sit inside my bubble of privilege, so insulated, thinking I'm special. And then one fine day, I went to this temple. The temple is called Ramakrishna Mutt, okay, in Chennai. And outside this Ramakrishna Mutt, I saw this beggar. Okay, I saw this beggar, and I saw in him some level of peace and contentment. I saw in this person, he was just sitting there and just looking at the road for a long time, because when I saw him outside, he was just sitting there looking at the road. When I went inside, did my prayers or meditation for an hour or so, and I come out, he's still just looking at the road and he's happy. And I just sit on the curb next to him. I sit down and I ask him, what is your name? He tells me his name. I ask him, what is your day like? And then he tells me, so I wake up to the bells of the temple. When they do their aarti and everything, I wake up and I am, I go to the public toilet and I wash myself there. Then I come and sit here until they serve lunch. Then I eat the prasad. Then I take a nice nap on the platform. I am asking him, doesn't the traffic horns disturb you? He tells me, no, they are like a lullaby for me. It makes me sleep well. Then I sleep in the afternoon. Then some days I get dinner. Somebody gives me some money to buy dinner. And with what little money I have, sometimes I buy something to eat, or some days I get water. I drink water and go to sleep. This is my day. And I was like, that's it. Like, something about that guy he told me this, I get a place to sleep, I get food, I'm happy, I have nothing to complain. That's what he said. And that shook me. you know Here was a person who spent lakhs of money in self development workshops, who is studying books on psychology to understand how to become happy. And I see this beggar on the street just sitting there happy with this level of raw contentment. There was this earthy feel about him, that he was connected to the earth, or was connected to his space, and he was very comfortable. And that was like that kid who broke the echo chamber of the king. That one interaction broke my bubble, because I came back home and I started researching about poverty. What is poverty? What are the socio political and socio-economic factors that contribute towards poverty? I started understanding why education is required, why employment is required. What are some political factors that are systemically encouraging poverty, namely vote bank politics, and also, commercially speaking, capitalism. Okay. Capitalism is this hierarchical pyramid with the haves on the top and the have-nots on the bottom, where products are sold to you, commodity fetish becomes the norm of the day, and you are constantly encouraged to choose more. That was something that was told to me within this particular organization. Keep choosing more, keep choosing more. Very subtly, what they were programming us was to tell us, keep choosing more of our workshops, keep buying more of our self-development courses. You need to have more in life, more, more, more. And then here was this guy who was teaching me, this beggar on the road who was teaching me a minimalistic lifestyle, where he was teaching me the lesson of contentment, of being happy with what little you have and being grateful for whatever you have. I have nothing to complain. And these two worlds were so dichotomous that a part of me within was going into conflict. And I was trying so hard to reconcile these two worlds, world of minimalism with a world of capitalism. One tells me that my ambition should be to become a rich man and have more abundance in life and have a life of ease, joy, and glory, right? These were the important values on one hand. On the other hand, I am observing minimalism, contentment. I'm observing the value in my own family system. When I started coming out of my echo chamber, I started reconnecting with what my family values. And my family values responsibility. My family values accountability. My family values duties more than rights. I have family members who do not go about shouting for rights on Twitter. They are busy focusing on their duties, day-to-day duties, of duty of a mother, duty of a husband, duty of a son, duty of a daughter. And here I was neglecting my duties as a son and busy looking outside at spiritual development workshops, rather than looking at my family and looking at what my family requires. Okay. So here was a world that values minimalism, commitment, contentment, accountability, and duty and responsibility. And here is another world that is euphoric, that is magical, that is, glorifying, and values ease, and tells you not to judge anything, and tells you that there's no right and wrong. Just be happy. Well, for me, it was very difficult to reconcile these two worlds. And so I confronted the founders about this, and I said, what about commitment? What about accountability? What about honoring our duties and responsibilities? Duties to the state, duty as a citizen to the country, duty as a son or daughter or wife towards the family. What about these duties? And then they started saying, these are true, but people will not pay you money for talking about these things, because people want an escape from reality. This is what they told me. They come to a course in the name of consciousness, but what they want is entertainment. They want a relief. They want to be told that it's not your fault. They want to be told that it's okay to be a bitch. It's okay to be an asshole sometimes. And it's other people's fault that they will not get you, and you are not wrong. Don't never make yourself wrong. This is what people want, and that's what we are giving, and that's why we are able to sell workshops. Now if you start getting preachy and bringing in scientific principles of psychology and therapy, that's not what people want. People don't want commitment towards therapy and intensively working on themselves and understanding the root cause of the problems. People want a magical pill. So we have designed a placebo kind of a pill. We call it an energy clearing statement. We just say, you chant this, things will be fine. Your energy will open up. You do energy pulls and all of these magical fantasy things. And then we can always tell them that there are when they are having anxiety attacks and real panic attacks, the founders of this organization would tell them, don't take psychiatric medications. These are entities bothering you. Completely an unscientific way, right? But I also believed it in the start, and I thought, oh, maybe there are these entities. Until I watched this TED talk. There was a TED talk in which this lady felt she was clairvoyant because she thought she's having an awareness of a spirit or a ghost that would come and sit on her chest and have these, choking sensation and heaviness on the chest and palpitation and sweating. And she could swear to God that there was a ghost coming every night at 3 a.m. to her bedroom. And then she told this to a doctor. The doctor opened up the matter to a scientific investigation team. The scientific investigation team comes to her house and they start looking for setting up cameras and detecting whether there are any presence. And unfortunately, the cameras don't detect anything, but she gets this gasping for breath, choking sensation exactly at 3 a.m. Okay. And then they start looking at all the medical signs and symptoms which match for this, and they arrive at a diagnosis of methane poisoning. Those are symptoms that matches with heaviness of chest, choking sensation, asphyxiation and everything. And they did find that there was a factory nearby, and when the factory would close down at 3 a.m. or whatever time that was, that's when there was a gas pipe leak that was taking place inside her house that was leaking methane gas. And she was actually getting a mild methane poisoning, which gave her this phenomenon of symptoms which she thought was an entity or a ghost. Well, there are always scientific explanations to everything what we consider as paranormal or parapsychic, etc. And well, this might be debatable for a lot of people, but to me, it was eye-opening. For me, this was like, the founders of this organization really know how to sell, and they agree to it. One of the founders told me that I manipulate people into buying my workshops, and I am one of the greatest manipulators on the planet right now. And here was a white man who was sitting in his white privilege telling people that he is special and he is a humanoid and he has come to promote consciousness, while saying that he's not really accountable towards global issues because it's not really his concern because he's from another planet, while conveniently utilizing the resources of this very planet and never feeling like he has to contribute towards global issues or that he had to do something towards changing global or social issues. And when I realized these things, I said, I've had enough. My whole sense of justice is constantly being violated here. I don't think this is fair. I don't think it is fair to stay in denial of real social issues of economic disparity. I mean, if you really open your eyes out there and research a little bit about social justice and read a little bit about what's happening in our society, you will understand that the issues are not begging for individual awakening, it is begging for social awakening. And social awakening cannot happen as long as we stay in a privileged bubble within the air conditioned homes without ever stepping out and looking at life's real problems. Well, life is the best teacher, is what I realized. And no workshop, no particular self development course can ever help you to grow in empathy unless you open your heart out to the people around you, to the community around you, to the family around you, to the friends around you. And the interactions with these human beings is what helps us to become more awakened or to grow as a person, to become a better person. We can never become a better person by holding ourselves or somebody else upon a pedestal. Okay. Uh, these are some of the things I recently realized. And these were some insights that I got on my journey of realizing things. Well, I quit the organization overnight. The decision was made overnight, and people asked me, "Oh, you're a facilitator, you're a trainer yourself. What, your license is valid for 1 more year? What about that?" I said, "No, something feels off, and I cannot stay in this organization any longer because it doesn't really resonate with my calling." And what is my calling, you might ask? And I am discovering my calling, and I am understanding that it is more on the lines of contributing to communities at the grassroots level. So that's what I did. I went and exposed myself to issues at the grassroots level, communities, what kind of problems they have. People have problems with lack of sanitation, not having water, not having electricity, basic issues, right? And until those issues are really resolved, how can one even talk of enlightenment? This is the realization that even Vivekananda came to. He was on the chase for enlightenment for a very long time, and then he realized that social change has to happen. He realized that social awakening is far more important than just individual awakening. And individual awakening and the denial of social requirement is plain selfishness, is what Vivekananda also spoke about. And when people asked him, like, what if you go to hell, or what if you don't go to heaven, what if you don't attain moksha? Vivekananda said, I would go to 1,000 hells if it means that I can contribute towards serving the community and creating dynamic action within this country for a better social standard of living. Okay. And that's why he created the whole Ramakrishna mission, right? And it was quite interesting that that was a temple that I went to that gave me all these kind of insights, or it just shifted me, it shifted my path. I am still in the question of understanding what it is that I require to be doing and what it is that I am seeking. I am still on that journey myself, but it was a journey of disillusionment, okay, and awakening of sorts, and waking up, sometimes waking up to realize that a grand euphoric dream is over can be quite disappointing. And I did go through a phase of disappointment, and here's where I am. So I just wanted to share some of these things with you all. Thank you for watching this video. This is Dr. Sanjeev signing off.